Exactly 6 months ago, Rory, Taylor and I met at the unit to film a video. Upon doing so, the director of the neighbouring company to us arrived in his Porsche 993. At which point my ADHD kicked into overdrive and dictated that all plans had to be scrapped in pursuit of us getting me a step closer to buying my dream car since I was 10 years old. And so I hastily hatched a plan to launch a trading up series that would see us trade up from a sub £5,000 car to a £50,000 Porsche 993. The first car we bought was an Audi S4. Purchased for just £3,875, it needed plenty of mechanical work, a lot of paint, a new headliner and a few other bits and bobs to get it back up to scratch. In total, the car owes me £5,135, and with a market value of £8,000, I've banked £2,865 profit. The next trading up vehicle wasn't in fact only one car. It was 5 cars and a trailer. Bought from a young guy called Alex whose father had passed away suddenly. I paid Alex £10,000 for the lot. And as you'll have seen recently, the cars were in various states of repair. The trailer, van, MG and Daimler sold quickly, and once the big Mercedes S600 finds a new home, I'll have banked a total profit of around £6,000 from this haul. Shortly after, I received an email from a bloke called Martin, who was moving back to Poland with his family. Keen to sell his 3 BMWs quickly, we agreed on £7,000 for his E46 320ci, E38 740i Sport, and E32 735i manual that had been sitting deadlocked for the last 3 years. In terms of sales for these cars, you'll have seen that my transport recovery friend Lewis from Bigfoot Transport offered me 1,500 quid's worth of car transportation for the E46, while the E38 is currently up for sale with tailor-made cars for a bargain £4,995. That means that the E32 owes me £505 to break even. Once started up, which you'll see in a video soon, I'm hoping to sell this for around £7,000, meaning that my total profit for this haul, including transport costs of around £500, would be a shade under £6,000. In total then, these 3 trade-ups will have netted me around £15,000, onto which I'm adding £7,500 for my 944, which was sold by Taylor last weekend. So £22,365 is what my current 993 purchase fund looks like, which is way off the £50,000 993 target. But a few weeks ago, I got a message from a bloke called Matt that would change everything. £45,000 for a manual, non-convertible 993 is currently unheard of. And after viewing the car in person...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my dream car. This is my Porsche 993. What a 993 it is! God, that noise. That noise is just delectable. Which isn't only down to the 3.6 flat 6 and aftermarket exhaust, because my 993 is also fitted with a freer flowing K&N filter, who are sponsoring this episode. So let me quickly tell you the benefits of using a K&N filter in your car.
For starters, and because K&N filters are freer flowing than standard paper filters, fitting a filter like this is one of the quickest and easiest ways to get a bit more power out of your engine, while filtering out harmful dust and contaminants.
Which is good for Nigel, because at over 200,000 miles, he needs all the help he can get.
On top of more power and a fruitier intake note, K&N filters are washable and therefore reusable, meaning that it's engineered to last the entire lifetime of your vehicle.
It even comes with K&N's no-hassle lifetime warranty, so upgrade your vehicle by following the link below. Everybody, welcome to my dream car. 3.6 flat 6 arena red, and it is fantastic. I am absolutely in love with it, and what better way than to be driving my dream car in an awesome location on my 39th birthday. Today is January the 10th, and it's been a difficult secret to keep because I am so excited to show you this car. The mileage makes this a high mileage hero, 202,000 918 as we speak. And you know what? From London all the way to Wales, it was absolutely faultless. And I've got big plans for this car as well, which you will see on the channel very, very soon. But for now, as it sits, what a fantastic machine and what a fantastic engine note. Yes! Cars like this should be prescribed on the NHS. Anyone feeling down, anyone with mental health issues, a couple of hours in this, I guarantee it will put a smile on your face and just make you happy. That's what a car like this does. It makes you happy, it speaks to the soul, and it kind of resets what's going on in your life. Oh. It is brisk, it's not particularly fast, but that's not what this classic supercar is all about. It's more important to me how it makes me feel. I feel like a little kid seeing my favourite car for the first time and promising myself that one day I would work hard enough to be able to afford that car. And here I am. I have made 10-year-old Alex the proudest little kid, and that for me fills my heart with absolute joy. It does need work. Now, one of the overriding things at the moment is my nostrils are filling up with burning oil, and that's because the engine currently leaks like a sieve. But you know what? The engine is strong. There is torque for days, and the noise, we're doing 6,000 RPM, the noise just never ever gets old. I've got four-wheel drive as well, which I know will annoy the purists a little bit, and to be honest, had I had the choice, I would have preferred this to have been a Carrera 2, because yes, it's 50 kilos lighter, and yes, it's a bit more pure to drive, but I promised myself I would have a 993 of any variety. It's a car that I've always wanted, so why not? I could put it in savings, I could put it in a deposit for a house, but you can't drive a house, can you? You can really enjoy a Porsche 993 though, and the 993 is my favourite of any 911 generation. People hark on about 930s and 964s, and yes, I get the appeal, but the reason I really wanted a 993 is because it's still a classic car, but it is modern enough to be used as a daily driver. And let me tell you, despite the mileage, it's easy to drive. It still feels absolutely pure. I feel everything through the steering wheel, every bump and vibration through my arse. Old school vibes with modern enough technology to be able to do 200-300 miles a day. The roar of that flat six 3.6 does something to me. Like, my whole body just lights up every time I hear it. No matter when I lock it and walk away, I will look back 2-3 times because I just want that snapshot in my mind sitting pretty. Yes, we've got about 280 horsepower and it does feel brisk. It's not particularly fast, but it is really, really pokey. The noise from the engine behind me, the exhaust note is absolutely fantastic. That never ever gets old. The steering is really quite heavy. The pedals are offset to the left, which means that the right side of my back is actually starting to ache quite a lot. Everything in here is heavy. You have to work to get the best out of this car. There are very, very finite tolerances in this, so it does take a while to get your eye in. But when you do, and when you've got a road like this to thread a car like this about, nothing beats it. And the way it just pops and bangs and snarls on the overrun. I mean, it's an old school supercar that you can daily drive in today's society. When you've got such an emotional connection to a vehicle, you will forgive it anything. Not that there's much to forgive, because I am confident, even despite the mileage, that this will do right by me.
The slick 6-speed manual gearbox and heavy pedal weights also give the 993 a robustness that reassure you that this car can be driven hard. And despite being almost 3 decades old, at no point does it feel fragile or like it's about to spit its dummy out. Or a piston.
In terms of the interior as well, I just love how everything is so tactile. We've got buttons here that you need to pull. The light switch you need to twist. I've got these massive dials here. The main dial that I see here is a rev counter. And then we've got fuel here, oil, oil, oil. just to let you know that if there's any problem, you've got 3 backups there. It is simple, it is raw, it is raucous, and yes, it's 4-wheel drive, the Carrera 4, which is 50 kilos heavier than the Carrera 2, but I don't care. In fact, I quite like it. We've got a viscous coupling that delivers up to 50% of power to the front wheels should it need it. So this is a car I can actually take to the Alps as well and have a bloody good go in. This for me is what cars are all about. An emotional attachment, noise, decent power, and just something that when you knock it down a couple of gears, it just does that. It never fails to do that. And because it's small and because it's got quite a short wheelbase, it corners so well, and I can feel the front wheels trying to scrabble for grip there as I'm pushing a little bit wide and then foot down on the throttle, and the engine just explodes into life and power and noise. I'm so happy. I am so happy. I genuinely also have you guys to thank for this, because without subscribers, without views, without sponsors, none of this is possible. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping me achieve something that probably would have been very difficult. I am forever in your debt. So hopefully it will inspire some of you guys to think, do you know what? I've got a bit of money squirreled away. I was saving it for a rainy day. But you don't know how long you've got on this earth. So remember that. And maybe if you have an opportunity like I did, grab it by the balls.
So it's clear to see that I'm smitten with my latest high mileage purchase. But does my new 993 live up to my expectations? Absolutely. And that's despite the fact that this was the only one I went to see, as well as it being the first 993 I've actually ever driven. It's a solid, sure-footed, daily drivable 911 that's every bit as good to drive as it is to look at. And because it produces well under 300 horsepower, it's also a car whose power can be exploited more often than most modern 4D number plate equipped hot hatches. For me, old school engineering wins every time, and the 993 ticks every box. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a chiropractor to see.